The narcissist never realized that the moment they crossed the line would be the last. They had grown too comfortable, too entitled to your kindness. They mistook your silence for submission and your patience for permission. They pushed boundaries again and again, believing you'd always stay, always forgive, always come back. But what they never expected was your quiet departure. You didn't scream. You didn't plead. You didn't create a dramatic scene. You simply stopped. You stopped responding, stopped explaining, stopped offering access to someone who repeatedly disrespected your worth. And in doing so, you did the most powerful thing of all. You disengaged, not out of spite, but out of clarity and self-respect. Disrespect doesn't always come as loud insults or public humiliation. Sometimes it arrives in subtle forms, dismissive tones, broken promises, betrayal wrapped in false sincerity. And each time, you gave him another chance. Not because you were naive, but because you hoped, believed, and cared. You were loyal. You were strong. You loved deeply and patiently, long after they stopped deserving it. But eventually, something changed. You reached a point where your silence was no longer about endurance. It became a boundary. You realized the narcissist had mistaken your restraint for weakness, when in fact, it was moral strength. You weren't afraid to fight. You just chose peace over conflict, dignity over chaos. That final moment, the moment the narcissist crossed the last line, is forever seared into their memory. Not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't. No arguments, no warnings, just the absence of you. And that silence, final, complete, irreversible, hit harder than any words ever could. The narcissist relied on your emotional reactions. They fed off your compassion and used your empathy as a leash. But this time, the game ended without their consent. You walked away not to teach them a lesson, but to protect your soul. They didn't expect it because they never truly saw your strength. But now they do, too late. And yes, it hurts. Grieving the loss of what could have been, letting go of the hope that they might change, it's not easy. But it's necessary. You chose yourself. You finally understood that love without respect dies quietly. That loyalty without reciprocity is just self-abandonment. And that no apology, no explanation, no promise could erase the damage they caused. So now let them wonder. Let them sit in the silence you left behind. Let them try to replay their usual tactics, only to find they no longer work. You've outgrown the cycle. You've stepped into your power. You didn't lose. You rose. You didn't break. You healed. You didn't quit. You chose peace. And most importantly, you've reclaimed your life, not with anger or vengeance, but with quiet, unwavering conviction. That is strength. That is freedom. That is the end they never saw coming.